Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to another episode. Well, the 11th episode in this round of 3-a-day CSEC multiple choice questions. It's DG Makes Math Easy. We are intentional about making math dimensional. If you are new here, then I would love to tell you that this is not the first set of multiple choice questions that we have done. You can check out the episodes that were done in I think it was June or July, doing the May 2019 paper. So yes, if you're new here, Monday to Friday, we meet here at 3 o'clock to premiere another 3 multiple choice questions. All right, that way you don't leave all your multiple choice practice to like close to the end of the year. All right, so we'll do little snippets as we go along. Don't forget to share, please share. All right, so that your friends can be on this journey with you and make use of these nuggets. All right, let me know in the comments if you're a regular here. I know that there's one specific person who tunes in first when the episodes are premiering. All right, I'll shout her out in another episode. But for now, let's keep it a secret. All right, so today we are looking at episode 31 and we are doing questions 31 to 33 of the May 2011 paper. And let's hit the road. All right, so for this question, I'm actually going to show you 3 ways to approach this. So the values of x and y, which satisfy the equations x plus 2y equals 27 and 2x minus y equals 19, are respectively, and we're supposed to tell what the values of x are. All right, if you notice with these options, there's 15 and 10, 10 and 15, which means the order matters. All right, the x value must be given first and the y value must be given second when you choose your response. All righty, so these 2 equations are being solved together to find the values of x and y that satisfy both. So we are definitely solving them simultaneously. And so let's hit the road and go ahead and write them down. X plus 2y equals 27. And 2x minus y equals 19. Now, for reference purposes, we're going to label our equations. So we're going to label this one as equation 1 and equation 2. All right, so there are 2 ways to solve simultaneous equations generally, and that is and those are the elimination method and the substitution method. The elimination method, as it suggests, we're going to be eliminating one of these variables. All right, I hope that you are familiar with this, so you can follow me. But in any case, you are still going to be able to solve it at the end. All right, so here we go. You want to eliminate one of the variables, whether it's x or y. And in this case, I'm going to choose y. Later, I will tell you why. Okay, so if I decide I want to eliminate y, I'm going to look at the coefficient of the coefficients of y in the equation, and I notice right now those are 2 and -1. All right, in equation 1 the coefficient is 2, in equation 2 the coefficient is -1, even if you don't see that one there. Okay, all right, so here we go. If I want both of these coefficients to be the same, which means I would love to, well, preferably I would love to make the coefficient of y in the second equation be a 2, and I'm ignoring the sign in front of it for a moment. All right, then I would need to multiply by 2. So here we go. And of course, you can't do that to only one term in the equation, so you'll have to do it to every term in equation 2. So we're multiplying by 2. And so here we go, multiplying this entire equation by 2. We now have 4x minus 2y equals 38. And let's just rename that equation. This new one will now be equation 3. And we're gonna go ahead and solve that while using equation 1, the original equation that we did not change. Now we are going to be adding both equations, because clearly if we should add, then the variable y would be eliminated, and you will see that in just a second. So we're adding the first equation to the second one. All right, so x plus 4x will give us 5x, and 2y, well, let's say it like this, a positive 2y plus a negative 2y will definitely give you 0. All right, in other words, 2y minus y equals 0. All right, so the y has been eliminated. We move on to the numbers. 27 plus 38, and then of course we know that this will give us 65. Clearly we're going to continue until we have solved for x. So it's going to be dividing by 5, dividing by 5. X clearly is going to be 13. And once we know x is 13, first of all, you can just look at your responses right now, because this is multiple choice. And you see that in D, the first value here is 13. All right, which means y is going to be 7, but we can go ahead and double check that. How do we solve for y? We're going to substitute this value that we have for x in whichever equation we choose. So let's go with equation 1. Equation 1 is x plus 2y equals 27. Great. And we're going to put in the value of x, 13, plus 2y equals 27. We want y, so we're going to get rid of this 13 and this 2 right here. Definitely going to get rid of the 13 first. Minus 13, and whatever you do to one side, do it to the other. We now have 2y equals 14. We need to get rid of this 2 by division. Whatever you do to one side, do it to the other. And we now have y equals 7. All right, and that would have been using the elimination method. Now let's look at the substitution method. And this question will take up most of the video. The other two will be very short. All right, substitution. The first step in the substitution method is to make x or y, and in this case, I'm going to choose x, the subject of the formula in, and you pick any of the equations. Let's go with equation 1. All right, so we have both equations, x plus 2y equals 27, and we said that's equation 1. So we are going to go ahead and make x the subject in this equation. So clearly we need to get rid of that 2y from this side, and we are going to go ahead and, okay, take that off. Let's go ahead and subtract 2y. So now x is equal to 27 minus 2y. Once you have that new equation, which again you can call equation 3, what we are going to do is substitute (27 minus 2y) in place of x in the other equation. All right, so we made one of the variables the subject of the formula in equation 1. All right, so basically we rewrote equation 1. All right, and then whatever we get there for x, we're going to substitute in equation 2. All right, so here's equation 2. 2x minus y equals 19. And in place of x, we're going to have 27 minus 2y. All right, so this is 2 times x. All right, so we're going to put 27 minus 2y. In that space, we still have minus y here equals 19. Expanding, we get 54 minus 4y minus y equals 19. We can simplify that negative 4y minus y, and we will get 54 minus 5y. equals 19. Of course, get rid of this 54. That's minus 54. Negative 5y equals negative 35. And once you solve by getting rid of that negative 5, dividing both sides by negative 5, y is equal to 7. And again, you can tell that if you should substitute this value of y in any of the equations, you will solve to give you x equals 13. Y equals 7, x equals 13. And finally, you could have done, you could have just taken the answers and substitute them. Okay, right? So you could have tried 15 for x and 10 for y in both equations and see if it works out, right? So let's try. I'm not going to do all of them, but just showing you how you could test them. All right, so if x was 15 and y was 10, would we get 27 for our answer? 15 plus 20 is not equal to 27. So you would have known that that answer cannot work, right? So you go ahead and you try 10 for x and 15 for y, and it doesn't work. You go ahead and try 7 for x and 13 for y, etc. And it must work for both equations. All right, I told you this was going to be the longest part of the video. We are moving to number 32. All right, it says the diagram below shows a cylinder with diameter 6 centimeters and height 20 centimeters. And we should write what the volume is. All right. One of the things you must notice that the volume is not given in with just a number, but actually there is pi in the answer. So you bear in mind that when you're working out your answer, do not try to get rid of pi from your equation, any at all. All right. So we know that volume for most of these, for a prism like this, all right? So the volume for this cylinder is going to be area of the base. That's the circular part that you're seeing here, whether at the top or at the bottom, times the height. All right? And since the base is circular, we are going to be looking at the formula for area, which is pi r squared times the height. All right. We do know what the radius is, do we? All right. So if we notice, we have been given the diameter of the circle, and it therefore means then that the radius is going to be half of that. So it's going to be pi times radius squared times the height would be 20. All right, and clearly we are going to have 9 pi times 20, which will of course give us A as our answer, 180 pi. Very simple. All right, so in this case you would have needed to know the formula and also for volume, and also you'd have needed to know the fact that half the length of the diameter is equal to the radius, length of the radius. And number 33, it's just a question of knowledge. How many kilograms are there in 1 ton? And that's simply going to be 1,000 kilograms. So I hope you would have just known that off the top of your head. All right, and that is the end of episode 31. And I hope that you will join me tomorrow for our next episode. And I hope that these have been really helpful for you. I love the reviews. There are persons who have my number on WhatsApp, so they would have left comments there. But feel free to comment also in the chat to let me know if this is helpful for you. All right, it's goodbye from DG Makes Math Easy. We're intentional about making math dimensional, and see you tomorrow.